Right, mine's going to be short as well. I don't know if I'm going to do it to match what's all we've got here, but I'm going to talk about my personal experience. I am directly a product of this attitude. I was born to parents who were both an evangelical minister in my late dad and an evangelical preacher in my late mum. My dad died an evangelical deacon, which is quite high up. Now, I am a transgender woman, as many of you can see, and I've known in some way or another since I was 11 years old that this is me and my identity, but at least subconsciously. But I didn't feel like I could accept this consciously because I'm 43 years old nearly. So when I was 11 years old, it was the late 80s, and I think most of us here, if you were around in the 80s of any age, you'll know from history the atmosphere that was about in the 80s. And to try and come out in those days, 11 years old, in an evangelical household with this very same mentality that Franklin Graham and his father before him, Billy Bob Graham, who came here and preached at Sheffield United football ground, it's just so repressive. And then, as proof of the attitude or how infectious that attitude can be, I am one of 8 siblings, and at least 5 of my family adopted that very same mentality of what my parents put on us. So then I'm not only fighting my 2 parents, there's my 5 sisters, 5 of my sisters. I had to go to church every Sunday, an evangelical church on Prince of Wales Road, and that church still exists today. While I know of people in the community who do now support me through me educating them, which just goes to show if we speak up and be heard, people can be educated away from bigotry. I like to think we here in England, we're a bit more civilised than parts of America with this attitude, where churches like this are a lot more prevalent than what they are in this country. Make some noise, make some noise.
Be careful.
So this person coming here, I don't believe this person coming here, I don't believe it's a reflection of our city as a whole. But the trouble is, the Sheffield Arena is a nationwide venue. It's known nationwide. So we're going to allow, if we allow this man to come, we're going to allow the worst people from different societies around the country to congregate here in our city and think that they are somehow self-righteous above us all, the rest of society, and look down on us more. And then in turn there is a risk of these people who come here feeling justified in educating their kids against people like me, the LGBT and the Muslim community. We've seen what hate can do, and this negative mentality can do, since Brexit started. What's already been said here is that since Brexit started, people have just felt like, oh, I can say what I want to say because it's just freedom of speech. But freedom of speech shouldn't allow you to make someone else feel less than. As I said already, I'm nearly 43 years old. Now, up until 5 years ago, I did not start transitioning. And a lot of that is to do with this exact attitude from my own family. This haunted me and stopped me from coming out. I felt it made me feel like I was dirty, wrong, a kinkster, a fetishist for being who I am. And along with the rest of the everyday life struggles, what causes many of us stress in and out of the trans community, the LGBT community, the Muslim community. One day I was riding my motorbike to work, which I used to do, and the stress, this not being able to be who I am, and the stress of this on top of everything else, for a split second I had a blip and I wound that motorbike on. That 600cc motorbike on, heading towards Prince of Wales Road roundabout, before realising and having a word with myself and saying, what the hell am I doing? And I wound it on. That's what the likes of these kind of people can do to people for being other. So we need to gather together as we are today, and I feel really proud that the likes of all us here, and I hope that you tell your family and your friends about this event here, gathered here today. When I was growing up, I felt like I grew up in two parallel universes. That's how different the evangelical world is. I know that firsthand. That's how different the evangelical world is. I felt like I grew up in a parallel universe. I got told that the thing is as well with the evangelical movement is, I hope I'm not out of order saying this as a black person, but I feel like I can say it as a black person. It's in this city at least, and in this country at least, it's a predominantly, it's a religion what attracts predominantly black communities, and it gets mixed up with culture, Jamaican culture, African culture, which places like Jamaica aren't okay with LGBT. Many African countries are okay with LGBT. You know, do we want that here? No, we don't. And the one thing what kept me strong as a born and bred Sheffielder, when I felt like I grew up in those, in two separate universes, is that I always knew which universe I preferred. And the universe I preferred wasn't that universe, the evangelical universe. And the thing that kept me strong was Sheffield's secular society. So, in other words, we're predominantly a non-religious, I believe, society. And what kept me strong was the other universe as a Sheffielder. The way Sheffield is generally, generally Sheffield is open-minded and accepting. That's what kept me going. So let's keep up this work. Let's be heard, and don't let this person come to this city. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. And obviously there's a lot of different views.